Yes, we can see you.
All right. Wow. There is a huge participation. I've never, given a presentation or a discussion to this number of people. So it's quite exciting to be with everyone. I don't know where to start. Those who have already Googled my name, I guess you know me on LinkedIn. I'm there. So you can search about what I do and learn more about me on the technical side. But on my background, I've been born again. The last time I remember accepting Christ was 1993. And I was still a baby then, didn't know what does it mean, but I think you guys might have been taught, about receiving Christ, and being born again. For me, being born again, I was expecting to go back into my mother's womb and become born again once again. So, but it didn't happen like that. But a lot changed immediately after that. I think I was raised by a single parent, and life was not easy. So the only father that I know is the Father in heaven, is my father, and is the only one that I have intimacy with, through our Lord Jesus Christ. So and from there onwards, my life started changing. I didn't know what was happening, to be honest with you. Life just became, much simpler. When you are raised with by a single parent, it's not easy. There were moments where you don't have a lot to eat in the house, but it never worried me at all. But the only thing that I knew was that I'm alive and I'm happy to have a father. So maybe a brief story, about my background, and then we can go into what I'm presenting over here. So there is three of us at home, my brother, my sister, and I. I'm the last born. And after receiving Christ, the gap between us is 3 years, okay? So when I was doing grade 7, standard 5, I was asking myself, that, if my parents will be able to pay for my fees, when I go to university, and all that, not that I was a high performer, but I will tell you more about that. It all changed actually after accepting Christ. So I went to my mother and asked her, "Hey, Mom, are you going, to be able to afford, with your teacher salary? I mean, every month she used to show me, hit me with a pay slip that you're asking for new shoes and this is what you get, this is what I get. So we can't afford to pay for or to buy you new shoes." Then I was sitting one day watching opera, and then they showed her address, on TV, and then I said, "Oh, okay." Oprah was giving. I mean, you may remember that show where she was dishing out, cars, and I said, "I think Oprah can also pay for my fees," not knowing that, it's God who's going to look after me from there onwards. So I wrote a letter, went to the post office, asked for an international stamp. It was R1 at that time, so it was a bit expensive. I mean, you can buy a couple of magwinyas by that time, around those times, you know. So I wrote a letter, and then the letter went, trust me, I believed that Oprah has received my letter. So every day I was watching the show, expecting her to open my letter. It never came, but I still believe that someone will answer, that letter and give me sponsorship. When I was in standard 8, what is standard 8? Grade 10, standard 8. I changed school, went to a boarding school, and I got a letter that I've been accepted. I got a sponsor. And from that time onwards, until I finished my degree in metallurgy, I was sponsored. If you think that is not God, you better think again. So my mother never paid a cent to my fees. Even now, I've got three or four degrees, and all of them, they were paid by God, by my father. So if you can start believing, in him, your life can change dramatically. So over here, I think, do we all have control to the screen?
No, you only have control to the screen.
Is it? Okay. Someone is writing on the screen, but it's okay. It's not an issue.
Problem, yeah.
Yeah. So and from there onwards, my belief in God just kept on growing. So I ended up developing wanting to know God more and more. Who is he? After learning about this diagram, okay, that you see here. So one day our pastor was preaching about the soul, and then I said, wow, what is the soul? I thought the soul and the spirit are one, and I believe most of us do believe that the soul and the spirit are one, but we are three in one. This is completely irrelevant from the Trinity, but we are three in one. So one of the things that you will see, is the body. I think it's easy, and the body has got five gates. Okay, this is where things can go in and out. Okay, sorry, but I hope everyone can see my mouse. So you have the eyesight, you have the eye gate, the nose gate, the hearing gate, the taste gate, and the touch gate. And all these, they are important for a reason. I mean, I don't have to explain why touching is important, why tasting is important, but what is its relevancy to the life in the spirit, okay? It's about recording into your DNA. Whatever you taste, it gets recorded somewhere. Whatever you feel, whatever you taste, it gets recorded somewhere. It's just that we have turned off our senses to a level that we only taste sweet, bitter, and all that. But when you're in heaven, it's completely different. Okay, so you need all these things in order to access the presence of heaven. So if there is any question, please feel free to ask me. Not that I'm perfect or I can answer all that. We are all perfected by Christ, yes, but I'll try to answer and elaborate wherever I can. So, and then inside the body, we have the soul, and this is where most of the problems are, Whatever you see happening in your body is likely to happen because of this part, the red part, okay? We make choices. There is choice gate, emotion gate, the mind gate, so the mind, I will talk a little bit more about the mind, especially on the subconscious mind, because this is where This is a gate that is more relevant to accessing the spirit. Imagination, you might have been taught in the past that, don't imagine things, and all that. And then you might have shut this gate. I've heard people saying, I don't dream. Anyone here who says, look, I cannot dream, I've never dreamt before, or I don't remember my dreams. Normally it's because of this gate that is shut, It's only open maybe to accept things that are happening in, maybe you want to imagine things, you are learning something at school, and then you can have an imagination, okay? The reason gate, it's another problem gate, we all have reasons why we should not do certain things, okay? So this is the reason gate. We've got the conscience. This Paul spoke a lot. So all these gates, okay, they are in the Bible, exactly in your Bible. And I'll share scriptures of each and every gate that is here based on the Bible. So you've got all these gates. All these gates, they allow things to come in and go outside, okay? Have you, maybe talking about the soul a little bit, I've got my son with me here, just finished matric. So if you don't answer, I'll ask him, if he has ever experienced something like deja vu, someone, it's like you've been there before, but you don't know how, because you have seen it in the spirit or experienced it in the spirit, and then you forgot about it. Then when it happens, then that's where you go, oh, it's like something happened exactly, the way you have seen it before, and they go, look, deja vus don't exist, yeah, maybe not, but for me, they do exist. I'll give you another example that my son and I did when we were coming back from church. I don't know if you still remember that. I wanted to show him how powerful he is, okay? Rabbe, you tell me if I'm going the right direction. So if not, then I will switch over to another topic. Then we were driving from church and I said to him, you can change things that you have never seen before, just by your imagination, or you can make things happen the way you want them to happen. And he says, how can we do that? I don't know if you still remember that day. So I said to him, think about, since we're here, we meet a number of cars on the road, okay? And then I said, okay, pick up a color of a car that you're going to meet next, okay? He says, I don't know, but I said, no, just pick up any color. He chose white. I said, no, white is boring, white is boring. Choose a color that is, there is only, few purple cars, few blue cars, I'm talking about sky blue, perhaps, something like that. And I said, okay, choose those colors. Okay, then I think we started with blue. And I said, okay, then now let's see how many, say the number of blues that you're going to meet in a distance of 1 kilometer, Then he said, okay, I think 3 would be fair. And then remember, we were not seeing any blue cars, and then we started counting 1 blue car. Guess what? The excitement that we have just bombed out, because the moment you do that, whenever you receive something in the spirit, never forget to celebrate. Happiness is the key, is part of accessing the heavens, okay? So number 1, we got the first blue car, we are counting, it's 700 meters. Number 2, we got another blue car, and I said, okay, maybe let's be precise, let's choose another crazy color, like yellow, I mean, I remember we used to have a lot of Beetles and, VW Beetle cars, which were yellow. And then then we said, okay, let's choose yellow. And okay, in a distance of, maybe when we turn a corner, we'll see a yellow car. Guess what? It happened exactly like that. And the more we see them, the more we get excited. You can also try it as well and say, okay, in a distance, maybe you're on an N1 or N3, N2, wherever you are. Try and see, if you can control these things, make sure that, whatever you desire. So okay, maybe before I get into that, what is the purpose of this exercise? The purpose of this exercise is you can get whatever you need from the Father. Okay, I'm not going to quote a lot of scriptures, but whatever I'm saying is indeed scriptural. Okay, except the cars, I've never seen, except there is no cars in the Bible. There is only 2 cars that were mentioned. Koloya Elia, I think it's Elia, and also Enoch, isn't it? Those who were transported. I only remember those two cars. And then I think Jeremiah also spoke about wheels, angels on wheels, but I'm not going to touch more about that part today. So, so the purpose of, saying things and expecting them to happen is, especially when you have Christ. So you have to do this with Christ in you, okay? You can ask of anything, you can become a millionaire. I asked that and then I received it. And anything that you want to. I think I was telling a friend of mine that I've never applied for a job, so we'll talk about these basic things that you can do. I've never applied for a job. Okay, the only thing that I did apply, if I do remember, was acceptance at university, and I was directed by the sponsor that, okay, apply to these universities. They are the ones that offer your course. Excuse me. So, but after that, whenever I think about that, okay, God, I'm tired of working in this company, and then he says, okay, I'm going to give you, excuse me a little bit, just give me a moment. I hope you can see me and hear me again. Sorry about that. So, for example, getting a job for the past 15 years, I stopped applying for a job. The only thing that I can do is, God, I need a change, I need a new job, and the furthest that I've tried, so if you have gone to my LinkedIn page, you'll see I've been not really around the world, but to a few places around the globe. So so I tried with God that, God, I need a job, that pays me this much money. Okay. And then within a week, the longest, I think it was 2 weeks for God to answer. And then immediately I got that job. I got a call. And in that call, they said, look, we will do the interviews just for,